relationship. I'm 36, a bit of an age gap. She's 10. 10 less. It's a maths joke.
Let's give it up for Devin Gray, for Richard Stott, for Aaron Levene, and for Jake Baker. Okay, and who are we gonna get to pick this time? Let's pick this guy here. What's your name, fella? Matt, I'm going to ask you to pair who basically choose who copies with who today. So I'll let you know who's who. Right furthest away from us is Jake. Next to Jake we've got Aaron. Next to him we've got Richard. And right next to us we've got Devin. So let's take Jake as your starting point. Who would you want to pair him up with? If you let me just breathe, I would have told you the names again. I've done hosting before a couple of times. Do you want to pair Jake up with Aaron, with Richard?
These edits are going to be good, right?
I've done editing 3 times before. I've done Richard or with Devin. So Aaron, Richard, Devin. Jake, Aaron, Richard, and Devin. That's the pairings. Give them all a huge round of applause as they make their way back off the stage. Oh. No, you're done. See you later. No, it's Jake and Aaron. You don't get to change your mind, but you will be asked to leave if you keep talking. Don't take it too serious. I didn't mean it. So just to recap for everyone, so you know what's actually happening. It's his first choice, not his second choice. So Jake is become Aaron, and Richard is going to become Devin. That's the pairings. Comics, that's the pairings. Just remember that, so you don't come up here all doing the same person later. 8 performances. First 4 will be themselves. The next 4 will be as each other. So up first, please put your hands together. Raise the roof. Give loads of love for Devin Gray.
London, how are we doing? Everyone good? Yeah, very, very cool. My name's Devin. I am originally from South Africa. You see that? I heard the pin drop. That's very cool. But don't worry, I'm married to a German. So that's what happens. We're traveling. My wife and I, we're traveling around the world. And people go, oh, you're from South Africa? Silence. Have you met my wife? Because when it comes to international race-based crime, I don't know if you know this, South Africa, 2nd place. As a German, my wife's always getting asked very rude questions. Questions like, did your grandparents support the war? Did they fight in the war? Did they profit from the war? It's very rude, but what's even ruder is that she hasn't answered me. I don't know if I've married a Nazi. I remember when I first met my wife, the first thing I thought, I was like, fuck, I want to spend every minute with this person. And then we got to know each other, we moved in together, and then we got hit with the first lockdown. And I was like, fuck, I have to spend every minute with this person. We didn't move in together, we served time together. That's how that worked. And during the lockdown, we had to become everything for each other. She was emotional support, I was technical support. That's how that worked. But to be everything for each other. Our living room became a multi-purpose venue. On Monday, it was a movie theater. On Tuesday, it was a yoga studio. By Friday, it was Fight Club. And we couldn't go out to dinner, so we had to improvise. Our living room became the restaurant, right? And I did well. I made it exactly like when we went out for a normal meal, right? What I would do is I would dim the lights. I would play the music. I would hang up a health and safety rating. 3 out of 5 stars. It's respectable. And then what I would do is I would dress up as a chef and I would cook the food. And then I would change into a waiter and I would bring the food out. And she would complain. So what I would do is I would take the food back to the kitchen and return as the manager to apologize. I'm so sorry. And then I would have to change back into myself so that I could leave a review on TripAdvisor. And it would be like, worst experience of my life. Not only had the chef not washed, the waiter was slow, and by the end of the night, the manager tried to fuck my girlfriend. 2 stars. 2 stars. You got my 2 stars joke? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I've done that maybe 100 times and no one's laughed. So thank you. Give it up for this lady, ladies and gentlemen. My wife has this weird sense of humor as well, right? She's obsessed with lemons. I don't know if you know, lemons. It's a weird thing, right? Yeah. There you go. You like lemons? Yeah. You should fuck my wife. Thank you so much. Whoa, like someone's like, hey, she's not here. Don't worry. It's going to be okay. She's got this weird thing with lemons. Like, she decorates my house with lemons. My house has so many lemons. If you come to my house, I'll invite you one time. Just once, right? Actually, not you. You can come to my house one time. The doormat, it's got pictures of the lemons on the doormat. It doesn't say seize the day. It says squeeze the day. It's ridiculous, right? And then you go into the house. We have lemon pictures, lemon paintings, lemon motivational posters. Live, love, lemon. I have a picture above the TV. It's a lemon. It's got glasses. It says imagine. That's John Lemon. I have John fucking Lemon. John Lemon. And she's labeled our light switches in the house. She's labeled it lemon, lemoff. Like, what the fuck is that? Being married is hard, though. Being married is difficult. So the other day, we were sitting on the couch. I thought that I was having the best time ever with my best friend. I thought that's what was happening, right? We were sitting there. She said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to watch my favorite movie, Fight Club. That's what and she said, oh my God, Fight Club, amazing. I've never seen it. This is so exciting. Now, everyone here's seen Fight Club, right? Yes. Right. There's a scene in Fight Club, and it's the scene where Brad Pitt comes out of the darkness, and he stands like this, and the sweat's dripping down his app. You see now? You see now? This is the sexiest thing I've ever seen. When I was a kid, I watched that scene. Brad Pitt came out, the sweat, the abs. I was like, am I? But as an adult, I'm like, this was just a good choice, right? So we're sitting on the couch. We're having a great time. My wife said to me, she said, well, this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. And then this scene came on. And I said to her, wait, it's going to get better right now, right? Brad Pitt came out, the sweat, the abs. My wife made a noise that lady just made. She was like, oh, my God. And then I said to her, what's that noise? Why you make that noise? She said to me, no, I don't want to say. And I thought we were having a fun evening. I said, don't worry, it's fine, you can tell me. She said, I had a sexy dream about Brad Pitt once. And I was like, oh, that's so cute. And then she tricked me by saying, have you ever had a sexy dream about anyone before? And I thought we were having a fun evening. I thought I could make a joke. I said, Bianca from the gym. It's no wrong answer. That's when she turned from my best friend back into my... She was never my friend. She was always my wife. It was a trap. Wives are not friends. She said to me, you are sleeping on the couch. And I'm only married a year. I can't sleep on the couch. If I sleep on the couch one time, that means that every time we fight, I'm going to be the guy who sleeps on the couch. So I can't do it. I have to put my foot down. So you know what I did? I said, no, I'm not sleeping on the couch. You're sleeping on the couch. Bitch. I said it. I said it to myself on the way to the couch. Anyway, you guys have been cool. I've been Devin. Please welcome back on stage.
Give it up for Devin Gray! Awesome stuff. And up next, please put your hands together, raise a for Richard Stott!
Hello, guys. How are we? Yeah, good. Anyone in a relationship here? Yeah, yes, good. Been in a relationship. I'm in a relationship myself. My girlfriend is, well, there is a bit of an age gap between us. Feel the tension in the room now. Yeah. Don't worry. Let's get this out there. I'm 36. She's 26. How do we feel about that? Okay, fine. Yeah, usually it's a bloke that says, cool. But no, cool. That's fine, because sometimes I get some animosity for that kind of thing. And if I do get anyone skeptical of that, I say, just, fuck you. You don't know us. We've known each other for 10 years. It's a very strong relationship. It is. There we go. Little delayed reaction over there. Worked out the other day that I'm millennial and she's Gen Z. Don't mind Gen Z. They're generally happier people, I think, because they don't have a living memory of 9/11. No, fine. But it's a weird thing going out with someone who's a lot more attractive than you. I'm not doing myself a disservice either. I'm a solid 7. I went to Norway 2 weeks ago. I was a 5. But she is a lot better looking than me. She's very sort of Germanic in the best possible way. She's like tall, blonde hair, blue eyes. Even her surname is Jürgens, right? But she's not German, right? She's from Argentina. I don't know how this happened, but... No, she's from Australia. At least that's what our papers say. But no, she's much better looking than me. Just give you an idea of this. Our first date, we went on we were Hinge dating, stuff like that. We've done the apps. Yeah, okay, those apps are discerning. I'm very discerning on them myself, right? I once swiped left on a girl because her friend looked a bit too loud. That was enough. Didn't want to meet her. Could have been the love of my life. Didn't give a fuck. She looked annoying. So me and her met up, and we started talking. I said, how's internet dating been going? And she said, not very well. And I was like, yeah, there's probably some dicks out there, there's some wankers out there, isn't there? And she went, no, I just can't get a date. And I went, how the fuck? How? And she went, people don't think I'm real. She's so pretty that people assume that she was a scam, right? Not me, though. I live on the edge. I turned up. The moral of the story is, if it feels like a scam, sometimes it isn't, so just do it anyway. There's another thing. I met up with her once. So I'd been out. She was out in a different place. I met up with her and friends in a bar. They were already at the bar. I got there, and the bouncer said, "You coming in on your own, mate?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Oh, I can't let you in if you're just coming in on your own." And I went, "No, my girlfriend is actually already in there." And he said, "Okay, can you point her out?" So I said, "Yeah, it's her over there." And he turned around, and he looked at me like, "Mate, if you're gonna fucking lie, at least make it fucking believable." And she came over, right? And then obviously it was real and everything like that. And this guy was like staring daggers at me the whole time, just being like, "What the fuck have you done this? How have you done this?" And I think a lot of people like to put things in boxes, and I think he was one of these kind of people. He was like, if you want to get something that I consider desirable, then you've got to earn a shitload of money or go to the gym. And I don't do any of those things. None of them. And what he'd done is, a lot of blokes, they forget about the thing that you're supposed to do in a relationship, which is be a fucking decent person and a good person to be with in a relationship. Right, yeah. Also, I eat pussy like a fucking dinosaur. I know, There's one thing that happened, right? I just want to bring it back to this, right? I'm going to leave you on this. You got to learn, guys, because it will pay you back in bucket loads. And I was down there, I was doing my thing, right? I was down here doing my job, right? And as you should, right? And I was really getting into it. And I'm sorry, right? And I was really getting into it, and she's like, she's holding my head down there and everything like that. And it starts off slow. It starts off slow, like when you're trying to lick a 9-volt battery when you're a kid. It starts like that. It ends up like a Mexican food eating contest. It's not nice. None of it's pretty, okay? But then at one point she started laughing. And I went, okay, I'm doing something new here, but I've come this far. I've got to keep going, right? But she kept laughing, and then she went, no, stop it. It's too funny. It turns out what I'd done is I put my legs in the air like that. And I went from fucking stud to Marilyn Monroe in like... Anyway, then we got off the bus. It's been me.
Get up for Richard Stott! And up next, let's keep that applause going. Give it up for Aaron Levene, everybody!
Hello. Let me get this out of the way. I'm not Uncle Fester. It's all right, Halloween. I don't have to make an effort. I just open the door and kids give me their sweets. Yeah. Rest of the year is trickier. Then children are sneaking into my basement to look for minions. That's what I told the police. Not up for paedophile jokes, no. Thought I'll give it a go. Despite all that, I got married, guys. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, it's a relief. Finally, I can let myself go. If I'm being honest, I knew I had a bit of an issue when I proposed, because sort of gave the game away when I had to ask for her help to get me down onto one knee. And then it took her 20 minutes to pull me back up again. That was with the help of 2 waiters, or crew members, I think they prefer to be called at McDonald's. She wasn't loving it. So. I've got ADHD, or as my wife calls it, for fuck's sake. I'm writing a show about it for Edinburgh. It's due up in a week. I've written 2 pages because I have fucking ADHD. I've called it a work in progress. Well, it's supposed to be called a work in progress, but it's actually a work in stagnation. And I don't mean a country full of deer. Yeah, that's about as well as I think that will go up there as well. So, my wife keeps saying to me, you know, there's a lot of crossover nowadays between ADHD and autism. And she says, Aaron, how many times have I told you to go and get checked? I said 239. I got raised posh in Hampstead by Chinese, Malaysian, lesbian, martial art expert nannies. It all flows, doesn't it? Yeah, they didn't speak in English, they only spoke Cantonese. They only taught me enough Cantonese because I'd learned Cantonese to communicate with them, but they only taught me enough to raise a small child. But like anyone who speaks a foreign language, I like to show it off. I go into a Chinese restaurant, I go up to a Chinese waitress. I say, she confuses the waitress because what I said is, where are you going, crazy boy? Come back or I'll smack your bottom with a stick. If I could order food, I would. Look at me, right? They did express their love for me through food, and as you can see, I've been abused. I'm also Jewish. Can't really get away with it. My full name is Aaron Moses Abraham Levene. My mum was an optimist. She wasn't expecting any trouble in the Middle East. Not actually 100% Jewish. I'm a Buddhist Jew. We like to call ourselves Boo Jews. Sounds like a parlour game for Nazis, doesn't it? I've had our dinner, and now it's time to hide behind the doors and scare the Jews. Sentence the rabbis. Hide behind the door, right? Boo Jew! Not just Buddhist Jews out there, you've got loads of mixed religion Jews. You've got Jehovah Jews who will up to your door and haggle for your soul. You've got Protestant Jews, you might know them as Catholics, and everyone here knows you've got orange Jews and lemon Jews. Yeah, some people find them a bit Hasidic. So, do you know, I'll just leave it on that. I've been Aaron, thanks very much. Yeah, that's what my wife said.
Aaron Levene, everyone! Oh man, there's just something inside me really like that he could have got off to the best applause, but then fungled the microphone stand enough to go off to silence. That was great. Give him a huge round of applause. Aaron Levene, everyone. Just my sick comic sense of humour there. Up last as themselves, please put your hands together. Raise a roof. Give loads of love for Jay Baker.
Woo! Everyone right? Good. It's nice to be here. I'm Jake. I had my 34th birthday recently, in December. Sort of a joke, isn't it? Not really. So. But what's interesting about it is, on my birthday, my mum said to me, "Oh, now you're getting into your mid-30s, you'll start to slow down." And I just thought, what life do you think I'm leading? What do you mean slowed? Who do you think? I'm not in Motley Crue. What are you talking about? 2 days ago, I got a notification on my phone because it's concerned I'm playing too much solitaire. Like, that's my life. Last week, I caught myself watching a video on YouTube of a man reviewing balsamic vinegar. What part of that has made my mum think, hedonistic fuckboy, here we go. Just FYI, it's Sainsbury's own brand is the best balsamic vinegar. For quality to price ratio, if you take into account mouthfeel and... Anyway, so it's... I'm trying to get older. I'm trying to be healthier. I'm trying to go veggie. Any veggies in? Yeah, a few veggies, yeah. You strict? Yeah, you're strict. I'm not strict. Like, I eat meat, for example. Sometimes I just forget, do you know what I mean? Because no one checks. I'll go into Tesco's, I'll get a meal deal. They'll be like, I'll buy a chicken sandwich, I'll eat that, I'll think that was nice, and then I'll go, oh, bollocks, I'm vegetarian. Damn it. I think the tricky thing about being vegetarian, I don't think anyone really likes vegetables that much. Not really. That's why they have to put them at the front of the supermarket, right? Because if they're at the back of the supermarket, you'd think, oh, fuck it, I won't bother. I think about layouts of supermarkets a lot, right? Like, the reason that they put the booze at the back is because you're willing to walk for the booze. But no one gets the end of it. That's true. Thank you very much. So you're going to have to do that again in about 20 minutes. So no one gets the end of a long week at work and thinks, oh, I've really earned myself a cauliflower. That's not happening. So I guess you can probably tell by looking at me that I grew up in Compton. Yeah? Oh, sorry. Oh, so Compton's a little village in the West Country. You were thinking Los Angeles, weren't you? What an amusing misunderstanding. So, Compton's it's just a very commonplace name. There's lots of little villages in the West Country called Compton because it just means valley. Fun fact. But Compton is very typical, like, thatched cottages and cricket on the village green, burning outsiders and wicker men, that sort of thing. Every year we have a scarecrow competition. It's that sort of place, right? Do you know about scarecrow competitions?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. Basically, if you don't know, it's really fun. Everyone in the village makes a scarecrow, and then the winner just wins. Like, that's it. There's no more to it, really. That's kind of it. I have made the mistake of confusing the Comptons myself. When I was about 14, I got my pocket money in hand, and I got the bus into Yeovil, the big smoke. And I went to the record shop in Yeovil. It's called Acorn Records. That's sadly now defunct. And I was flicking through the records, and I found this one called Straight Out of Compton. And I looked down at it. I looked down at those gentlemen with attitude. How else do you want me to navigate that? I looked down at it and I thought, yeah, this looks like it's probably for me. Dorset has a great sort of history of poets. William Barnes, Thomas Hardy, easy motherfucking E. I bought that record in 2004, I reckon. It came out in '89, so 15 years difference. I gotta say, in the 15 years, Compton has really changed. That was my impression as a 14-year-old. Those guys are like, fuck the police. Like, oh, Constable Dennett's a lovely gentleman. What are we talking about? Turns a blind eye to underage drinking. As long as you're not sick on the war memorial. He's a lovely guy. He's nice. Opens the bowling for the Griffin's Hedge Tuesday nighters. What a nice guy. The only bit of police corruption I'm aware of is he used to win the scarecrow competition every year, right? Absolute bullshit. Because every year he'd just put his uniform on every do a scarecrow policeman every year. That's horseshit, right? I think also what frustrates me about scarecrow competitions is getting a very niche West Country beef here. Is they're basically a popularity contest, right? You all vote. The whole village votes on who's the best scarecrow. So it's a popularity contest. Whereas I think we all know the criteria by which a scarecrow competition should be judged is fewest crows. Right? That's true, isn't it? The scarecrow that has the fewest crows around it must be the scariest scarecrow. That's the winner. The issue is there's not that many crows in Compton, so maybe it's... So I guess you'd have to get some sort of control crow. Right, just a sort of crow that you show it to a scarecrow, and you measure its level of agitation. Like maybe it's hooked up to a heart monitor or something. Measure its level of agitation, and the one it's most frightened of, again, just wins. Like, there's no more to it. Listen, that's it. So, thanks very much. I'm Jake Baker.
Jay Baker, everyone!
So we've seen them all perform as themselves. We're going to bring them back as each other this time as who they were paired up to be. So up first with the material of Richard Stott. Welcome back to the stage, Devin Gray!
All right, so I'm in a relationship. I'm 36, a bit of an age gap. She's 10. 10 less. It's a maths joke. I did time for that joke. I did 10 years, and by the time she got out, she was 19. And then I think it was okay now. It's fine. 9/11 doesn't exist if you're a Gen Z. Too busy looking at their phones, I guess. It's weird dating someone that's hotter than you. For example, I'm a 5 when my girlfriend's 10. But it is weird dating someone hotter than you, so I got her a fan. OnlyFans. Nope. She was a 9, but I waited. People never believe me that she's my girlfriend because I go to bouncers and I say, that's my girlfriend over there, and they go, well, she's not allowed in here. And I'm gonna make a joke about going down on a 9-year-old, but I want everyone to know that it's his joke, all right? So what happens is sometimes I have to prove to people that it's not because of my looks that I have a hot girlfriend, it's because of my amazing cunnilingus. So what I do is I'm standing in front of the bouncer, I'm like, no man, listen, I'm a nice guy, and also watch this. And then I get down, and I was like, oh, she's had Mexican today, and this is a long bed, by the way. It's a very long bed, and it's hurting my knees, so I'm just gonna fucking... Anyway, I'm really old. Hard to get up, hurt my knees. Hers were fine. I'm gonna leave you with that. Thank you so much.
Devin Gray, everyone! Can't wait to read the comment section on this episode. This is going to be good.
Do check out Joke Thieves on Instagram.
Up next, the reverse of that pair, and this time with the material of Devin Gray. Welcome back to the stage, Richard Stott!
So I'm from South Africa, and my wife is from Germany, so we're the same. You know, questionable human rights history, brilliant sausage. Yeah, me and my wife got married and we went straight into lockdown, which, as a South African, I found fine because I'm used to living in a gated community. Our house became, you know, it became like a prison, but not in a metaphorical sense, in a real prison sense, you know? Week 2, the living room looked like, you know, a prison gym yard. You know, she'd been on Amazon, she'd got all the fitness stuff. It was definitely her yard, you know? We started using cigarettes as currency. I don't want to talk about what happened in the showers. There was another thing that happened. My house started to feel like a restaurant sometimes as well. Weird. And I've got this hard and fast rule that if the person that I'm dating is rude to waiting staff, I've got to break it off. And I was serving her food, and then she was rude to me. So we had to break off our marriage, but we were still in the prison that we'd made. So we just kept plowing through. Also, fuck lemons. Honestly, like, oh my God, fuck lemons, yeah? Yeah, our house is made of lemons. And we've, which means everything inside it is bitter. We've got a big picture of our favorite musician, John Citrus. You know Fight Club? I got an erection during Fight Club when Brad Pitt came out, all sweaty and stuff like that. But it got me thinking, like, Fight Club, I don't know if you could make Fight Club today, because it's not a very good film, but But if you were to make it today, I feel like it would be like, the first rule about Fight Club is if you need to talk about it, we're all here for you. Second rule of Fight Club is, I should have ended there. That's me.
Good start, everybody! And up next is the beginning of our next pairing, this time with the material of Jake Baker. Welcome back to the stage, Aaron Levene!
Hello, I'm from the West Country. I'm 34. That's not a joke. My mum thinks I'm a bit slow. Balsamic vinegar and solitaire turn me on. I told the security guard as he threw me out of Sainsbury's. I'm forgetful. Something can't read my bloody handwriting. Fucking annoying. You have to write this in the dark. I'm too lazy to buy booze. I don't know what the fuck that means. Oh yeah, that's it. So here's the thing, right? I'm really nerdy. You guys are all too young for this, but I think I look like a cross between Noel Edmonds and Kenny Everett. None of you know who the hell that is, but it's funny to me. Maybe Will knows. He's got a kind of cheeky, sweet vibe as well. But I'm so nerdy, but I need you to know that I'm cool, but I'm cool enough, right? I'm cool enough to know hip-hop, right? But I'm so cool, I'm sort of taking the piss out of it. So I'm that cool. I'm not actually a nerd, even though that's my whole persona. So look, I'll mention something hip-hoppy, which is the thing that all white boys know, which is straight out of Compton, because that's the thing all comedians like that we follow. NWA is the only hip-hop thing I know as well. So Compton, and then I'll talk about Compton for ages, and scarecrows, and crows, and how there are no crows in the West Country because we've built so many scarecrows. That now we have scarecrow competitions and there aren't any crows and we have to use chickens instead. And sometimes ducks. Nobody knows why. Why? I don't know. Nobody knows. I mean, that's the point. I'm from the West Country. I haven't even done any jokes about inbreeding. That's how cool I am. The town I'm from is so small it makes Yeovil seem like a metropolis. It's the police chief. The police chief is talking about scarecrows again. The thing about scarecrow competitions, it's a popularity contest, which I hate, and there's nothing at all like stand-up comedy. That's it.
Aaron Levene, everybody! Which means we're down to our final performance. So this is the reverse of that pairing, this time with the material of Aaron Levene. Welcome back to the stage, Jake Baker!
I believe the joke was, I am not Uncle Fester, but thank you anyway. I've got ADH... shiny. So, I got married in a McDonald's for the catering, I guess. I'm now going to plug my Edinburgh show. Please come to that. So, what I should do is plug Aaron's show, but I don't know when it is. So can I break character and plug mine? No, that's against the ethos of the show. I won't do that, fair enough. I was raised by some nannies who actually have quite a long list of identity signifiers. But if I had to pick one, it would be that they're Cantonese. And you'd think, growing up with Cantonese nannies, I would have learned some Cantonese, but I didn't. So... So every interaction I have in a Chinese restaurant is professional. So... my full name is Aaron Moses... I didn't write it down, so I'm just... Moses Abraham Levene, which is quite Jewish, isn't it? And that's because I am Jewish. I'm actually not fully Jew. I'm a Buddhist Jew, because you can have two religions because they're all just made up, aren't they? Have 3, 4, why not? I mean, if I was a Jewish, Jewish and also Islamic, maybe I could solve the Middle East crisis single-handedly. Maybe I'll try that at my next gig. So, we do have some Jewish people that sound like fruit juice. No, I've forgotten this. What's this bit? So, I'm not. What was it? Orange juice and lemon juice. Yes, they're acidic. Yeah, they're acidic. See, I know I had to make you interject again. So I'm Aaron Levene. Thank you very much. Bye.
Jay Baker, everyone!